Motivational speaker Les Brown is quoted as saying, "If life knocks you down, try to land on your back. Because if you can look up, you can get up. And if you can get up, you can stand up. And if you can stand up, you can fight for your dream once again. You have something special." And Tim Tebow is quoted as saying, "You can't lose confidence in yourself or you've lost already. When you get knocked down, you've got to keep getting back up." Well, my friends, this is Michelle with the Church Finance and Minister Tax podcast. And I had lost confidence in myself and got knocked down for 2 months. It has been exactly 2 months since I recorded my last podcast. I knew I was going to take off the month of December because of my bookstore. We have to get through the Christmas season. But once January hit, I literally lost my ever-loving mind and could not get another podcast together. I don't know what happened, but it's like every bit of confidence I had in continuing this just went away. Every time I would think, ooh, that would make a good podcast, when I would go to pick up my phone or to get in front of the mic, the words just would not come. They literally would not come. So I had decided a couple of times that I just wasn't going to do it anymore. And I thought I was okay with that. But I kept going throughout my day and thinking, ooh, that would make a good podcast. Or, ooh, I need to put that in the podcast. So I actually, honestly, had to have people pray for me to, for lack of better words, pull up my big girl panties and get the job done. So I'm back. I am back today, and I am here to teach you and to encourage you in your journey with learning church finances and minister taxes, because I've been where you are. I've been sitting in that church office and having no idea what I even needed to know until I was told that, you need to know this. And I'm like, how the heck was I supposed to know? Anyways, I am here to educate you so you can educate your church, so your church can be in compliance, because we want to keep your church doors open so you can continue to share the gospel of Jesus Christ, because that is the biggest thing this world needs right now. So if we can do that, that's a win for me, that's a win for you, and that's a win for the kingdom. So you know why we're here. We're here to learn church finances and minister taxes. That is what we are going to do. That is what we are going to continue to do. It is what it is. It is what it is. I've got to get out of my head. I've got to get up off that horse. I feel like the saying, what is it? You fall off your horse, you got to get back in the saddle again. Well, I'm going to get back in the saddle. I'm probably going to stumble over my words in the first couple of episodes just because I'm a little nervous. I'm just going to be totally transparent. I'm a little nervous. But I will also tell you, one of the big encouragements for me to get back in the saddle again is I have not done a new podcast episode for 60 days. And over those 60 days, you guys and gals have listened and downloaded more than 1,300 downloads in the past 60 days. And that's just reviewing the old ones. So thank you. Downloads do matter to me. They just let me know that you want to learn more and that this is a needed podcast. So thank you for that. So what we're going to do today is we are going to talk about some compliance essentials for church payroll. As you know, we just made it through January. Praise God, fourth quarter payroll liabilities are done. We made it through. I'm going to assume you've got all your W-2s filed and mailed out. You've got all your 1099s filed and mailed out, okay? But now you probably may have realized some uh-ohs when you were doing this. I should have got the W-9 for this person. I can't tell you how many churches I've talked to and how many church bookkeepers I've talked to that said, I can't get a W-9. What am I supposed to do? They won't give it to me, yada, yada, yada. Okay. We're going to take care of that because it's February. We're going to breathe because we made it through January. Hallelujah. And then we're going to start this year off. We are going to get those W-9s before we pay the first penny to any of these service individuals. We are going to get that W-9 so that we are not trying to chase them down either at the end of the year and, God forbid, next January. Okay. So, number one, I'm going to give you 5 compliance essentials I want you to do. Okay. First thing you're going to do is we're going to properly classify the people we're paying this year. Are they an employee or are they an independent contractor? Okay. And because I love you guys and because I know you're big boys and big girls and you can handle this, I'm just going to straight up say it. You don't get to decide if somebody is an employee or an independent contractor, and they sure as heck don't get to decide that. The Internal Revenue Service decides this. Okay. The Department of Labor decides this. Not the church, not the bookkeeper, not the treasurer, and definitely not the individual. Okay. So you want to make sure that you're looking through the IRS and the DOL regulations to make sure that your people are properly classified. Second of all, I want you to make sure that your minister's housing allowance is properly designated. Do not wait till the end of the year and have your minister come to you and say, oh, we spent $36,450 in housing expenses last year. I want that to be my housing allowance for last year. That is not the way it works. It's February. If you have not already designated the housing allowance for 2025, get that done. How are you going to do that? You're going to have your minister, you're going to ask your ministers, how much did you spend in housing last year? He's going to give you a roundabout number. You're going to say, is that, do you anticipate that to be about the same this year? They say yay or nay, you adjust it accordingly. You get it voted on, you get it approved, boom, housing allowance is designated in advance, then you can start paying him housing, okay? Number 3, tax withholding. You're going to make sure that you are properly withholding taxes on your ministers. They have that dual tax status, okay? So you're going to make sure if they are a qualified minister, which means they're licensed, ordained, or commissioned by the IRS, and they are actively performing ministerial duties, that you are not withholding Social Security and Medicare taxes on them. Why are you not doing that? Because you're not allowed to, okay? They are to be considered self-employed for Social Security and Medicare taxes. They have to pay self-employment taxes. So you're not going to do that. And then you're going to check in to see if they can do voluntary federal withholding. If they don't want to make estimated tax payments, it's easier for a lot of ministers to just do the voluntary federal withholding. So you're going to check into that. Number 4, FLSA exemptions. There are, of course, your qualified ministers meet the ministerial exception. What does that mean? That means that they don't have to abide by minimum wage rules. They don't have to abide by overtime rules. There's a lot of FLSA regulations they don't fall under. Well, you can also have other employees fall under what they call a ministerial exception, which means that they can be exempt from these same rules as your minister if they qualify under certain laws. And then number 5, make sure that you're doing your reporting and your documentation properly, which is, again, are your W-2s set up? Do you have all the employee information in there that you need? Do you have your I-9s? Did you know that I-9s are not an option? I've run across many churches that don't have an I-9s. If the Department of Justice or the Department of Labor, they have the right, anytime they so choose, to walk into your church office, ask to see your employee files, and one of the documents they are absolutely going to look for is that I-9, which is just proving that the individuals that you have working for you are legally allowed to do so. Okay? All right. So in addition to these 5 payroll compliance, and I know that was quick, but is this just a quick overview? I have those listed in a church payroll compliance kit, and I want to give that to you free. Okay. In addition to this that I just went over, I'm also going to give you a new employee onboarding checklist. It's going to tell you the federal forms that you need to get filled out for your new employees. There's a place to put the state forms, depending on what state you're in, if there's any forms you need for that. A place for your employee and employment data, and in a place to list the benefits that that particular employee is going to get. Also included in this starter kit is a board resolution for ministers' housing allowance template that you can just plug and play, okay? And then a PDF that has the top 3 payroll mistakes that churches make. All right, again, this is totally free, guys. I want to get this to you at the beginning of the year so that you can get off on the right foot. Okay, this is called the Church Payroll Compliance Starter Kit, and you're going to go to find this at churchpayrollcompliancekit.com. Okay, again, that's churchpayrollcompliancekit.com. It is going to ask for your email. But the wonderful thing about that is that's just going to give us a way to connect. Like when you sign up for this, you get on my email list actually next week. I'm excited about this. I recently got my first article published in a professional magazine, and that was totally cool for me. So the organization asked me to write an article on how to properly prepare a minister's W-2. It's a 4-page article. I have the PDF version of that, and I'm going to be sending that out to everybody on my email list next week. So this week, you can go ahead and download that Church Payroll Compliance Kit. All right. Next week, we're going to tell you on number 5 down here about reporting and documentation. I'm going to make sure that you know how to properly do that W-2 for your ministers, because a lot of minister W-2s are not done properly. All right. And if you're listening to this this episode on a replay later on, shoot me an email at michelle@churchfinances.org and say, hey, I downloaded your church payroll compliance kit. Can I get your W-2 article that you talked about in episode 91? Okay. And I will get that to you regardless of when you listen to this. So I'm excited. I am thankful to be back. To say that this year is probably going to be a whirlwind of ups and downs and a roller coaster ride for tax law and just government in general. It is going to be an adventure. So I will try to do my best to help us out. But I will tell you, the absolute best way for you to stay up to date on what is going on is to join my private coaching group. Okay. I can only give out so much information on the podcast. As you know, government is always changing. They can't make up their mind, like this BOI stuff. Goodness gracious. It has seesawed back and forth more. It's just ridiculous how much it has changed in just the last 3 months and how many times it has changed. But for those who are in my private coaching group, we get together once a month, and I'm going to give them the newest and latest information. We're going to discuss it. We're going to keep them up to date. You have direct access to me in addition to our coaching session. So if that's something you're interested in, it's only $40 a month. That's it, $40. And it's $40 a month, or currently you can just try 3 months at a time. I mean, seriously, just 3 months. And it's discounted for $110. So if that's something you're interested in, if you want to go deeper and you want to be able to have somebody to ask those questions to on a monthly basis, if you want to be a part of a community that is in this same exact spot you're in, doing the same thing you're doing, wanting to know the same things you want to know, this is a great group to be in. So go to churchfinances.org /cohort, COHORT. So that's churchfinances.org /COHORT. Would love to have you signed up and join us. We get together the third Monday of each month. So it's coming up here again soon. And I'm excited. We're going to talk about, we go over whatever questions you've got in mind, plus an additional training that I offer as well. So regardless, go download your free church payroll compliance starter kit at churchpayrollcompliancekit.com. Oh, goodness gracious. churchpayrollcompliancekit.com. Say that fast 10 times. And until next time, my friend, we're going to keep it the same. We're going to say, let's all strive to make an impact and not just an income. And remember to always look your best, do your best, and be your best. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for listening today. If this podcast has inspired you or helped you in any way, please do me a couple favors. Number one, if you would leave me a review on Apple Podcasts, that would help me tremendously and more than you know in my rankings. And number two, share this with somebody who you think it could be helpful for. And until next week, I hope you have a blessed day. Bye-bye.